Would help if I turned my microphone on. August 5th, 2022. NASDAQ futures. We're going to do a little bit of post-market review. It's Friday. Oof. It's been a good week of trading. And I'm glad the week's coming to an end, but I'm looking forward to the next trading session. So let's just jump directly into this. One thing of note too, hopefully the volume is a little bit better on, maybe I was too far from the microphone, but I'll leave it up to you folks to decide what you want to do with the volume, because apparently I was coming in a little low on the last handful of videos and I was unaware. I was doing reviews on my desktop, but when I watched it on my laptop I could barely hear the conversation. So hopefully you had headphones, you could crank them up, or you had a volume button that you could crank up, and I was coming in loud and clear. But I'll put the volume up on this now, and let's just jump right into the charts. So we'll look at the 10-minute, but we'll look at the 2-hour, and we'll look at the 1-hour. So returning to a little bit of the roots on balance volume alongside professional buying indicator, OBV from, I couldn't give you the most complete description of what OBV is or how it works. Something I picked up from Larry Williams in I think his book Long-Term Secrets to Short-Term Trading. I don't like to get too wacky on the indicators. The channel serves realistically as one indicator, professional buying as another, at least on the lower time frame stuff. Swing trading, a little bit different. That's when we get into our higher time frames, of our with professional buying on the daily and on the weekly. If we removed, here's Larry Williams is tried and true, I believe, 18-day bump and run. That's that blue line. That's the 18-day moving average. So higher time frame stuff. Just looking at where this trend marker, trend line is, basic standard stuff. With professional buying on the daily, hard to bet against professionals without a divergence up here. I didn't get a heck of a lot of a divergence up here in this bear market to show that we're going to cut the other way. But on the previous top, we did see a nice bearish divergence that was happening up here. So Williams percentage R, strength indicator, we're up into that, on the daily at least, overbought territory. So who's driving the market? 26-week index. Large speculators are in the blue here. They look like they're driving the market, and lo and behold, our commercial interest for the NASDAQ are on the sell side. So heavily on the net short positions. Commercial interest always looks like they're on the wrong side of the trade. So they're heavily net short. They are definitely heavily net short here, and at least on the index. Positions wise, we can always put the positions in here too to see what the current positions are of commercial interests versus large speculators. I think if we threw small speculators on here too, that they've been buying heavily as well. These are the two big players that I watch. Is commercial interest in the red on the bottom for the index, and in the blue, large specs, red in the, sorry if I'm repeating myself here, red is commercial interest. So on the index, and that's a 26-week index. It's a little bit more responsive, Larry indicates, on the 26-week, if you're doing the day trade type stuff. Presently I am working with intraday trading. This is not a swing trade video, but a little bit of highlights for post-market analysis here. So what do we see on the daily? In order of magnitude, if you're doing some swing or some long-term trading, was we had a nice divergence that was here, so we, this picked up on this move previously. Did it pick up on the magnitude? Who knows? The most previous longer term, so that's it's somewhere around 50 days of trading or more here, was a nice divergence here that showed a little bit of movement that happened in the market too. And then we can just, we can take a look at commercial interest. Did commercial interest move with this divergence? It did. Is that saying something? So commercial interest down here, will this top a little bit and we'll get a little bit of retrace and some oversold conditions for the market to continue, the leg up. We'll see, what happens. Where was the last time that the commercials were heavily net short for some period of time? Well, we'll tell you where commercial interest was the last time. So, what is going on here? Come on now. This is time, and this is why I used that other tool. Heavily net short, 26-week index. Look where the top was. So, are we always gonna get some clues from commercial interest that things are moving the other way? We've gotten a little bit of movement with commercial interest, and here is we started a little bit of a crisscross, but were they the ones that are driving the market up? I don't know. It looks like large specs were driving the market up, but was it smart to be a large speculator at the top of this market when commercial interests were net short? On the surface, doesn't look like a really good idea. What was going on when the market was still in a relatively strong uptrend? It looked like large speculators were selling, and commercial interest is getting net long back here all the way into this area. They were net long before they started selling or getting on the short side here, and we saw a little bit of movement. So large speculators can easily drive the market, but is it smart to bet against commercial interest? These boys can move the chart, I'll tell you that much, but they do always appear to be on the wrong side of the trade most of the time. So we're up in this top. It looks like the market's carrying away here at 17,000 or whatever it is, but commercials getting that short. So I'm watching this for some activity. Large specs driving. How long do commercials stay net short before this retraces heavily? We're getting a little bit of movement today, most certainly. So let's take a look at some key indicators in this market, and I'm going to use my other tool because it's just a little easier to draw across 4 or 5 time frames here. So 1 hour, and we keep that there. 1 hour showing a nice divergence here through the overnight session. So this is actually 2 sessions, and I was skeptical about being a buyer up here, and not for any other reason other than we saw a couple of different divergences across a couple of different time frames. So 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour divergences. Not so much on the 12-hour here, but over in the oversold department, overbought department on the 12-hour, overbought department on the 4-hour. These are confluences that I have the tendency to look at here. And on my even lower time frame, I find this helpful too. Rate of change. This is another hint that I got from Larry Williams in one of his books, Rate of Change. So what's going on here with this top? And this is looking good as a bearish confirmation, right? Okay, so and I think we did look at those this morning. So let's bust down to the 2 hour. This is one of my bread and butter charts. What we're seeing right now in the channel, the uptrend channel that we have, and this is a readjusted channel, and I'm liking this channel quite a bit more. And it's because of this control price. This looks a lot healthier of a control price. So while we got some selling off that happened this morning, we're still above that control price. But bearish divergence on the 2 hour, and it's looking like that OB on balance volume is starting to help out a little bit, and it's starting to come down a little bit. But there wasn't much on the 2 hour that would have helped out, I think, with this sell this morning, like it would have helped back here with the buy with this support that was in this area while price action was moving down. Looks like the volume was picking up or staying steady, supported through that sell-off. So we got a really nice move off that. So let's take a look at the 1 hour. Not a chart I rely on heavily, and not one that I mark up very often, but I will pull it in, and maybe this is something that needs to be revisited from time to time. I like the weight of the 2 hour chart and the indicator quite a bit more. So on balance volume here on the 1 hour, price action is moving down, but the on balance volume kind of stifled here. We don't so much look like we're moving in the other direction on the on balance volume. And are we looking like we got a... Well, this wasn't exactly a divergence that was happening. From this point to this point looked like a pretty decent divergence from here to here. But buyers stuck around. Buyers stuck around a little bit near that control price on the 2 hour. Is it meant to last? I don't know. It's kind of been a down day, more or less. Not by very much, but if this is where we closed yesterday, we still did have a relatively down day. Not a massive down day, but where we've seen before, where this magnitude of 2 hour divergences gets some relatively good sell-offs. You know, here was a relatively good sell-off, very aggressive sell-off. Down day, down day, down day, so across maybe five different sessions on the down day. So far as opposing divergences go, at least on the 2 hour, there's not a lot to work with here, at least not yet. Buyers hanging around up near the control price on the 2 hours. So things will start to look interesting as we get into Monday. And let's review the 10-minute chart, which was one that I was, this is the chart that I play from each day. And in the bull market, we did see a lot of this type of sell-off movement where, and I'm trying to reference a book here. It might have been Bob Lohman's book on bullish W's on the lower time frames. This looked like a kind of a bullish W scenario where we get the first leg down, a return. This was a really good return back up into the 5 DMA. Should have been short here. This was an indication that I was going to pay attention, and I think just when we were finishing the morning impression video, I did take an ask off of here, and this worked out really, really well. Does it always work out that well? I was kind of hoping on it. I remember these patterns quite well from the bull market post-pandemic. So where you see this, quite a leg, quite a run, and then a little bit of selling off, whatever, call it profit taking, whatever it is. So 5 DMA coming into play. I think we flipped it. But we're gonna have to see what type of activity happens around the 5 DMA again. Check our divergences, etc. Just around the post market, they took a quick run at this last leg here, but I've seen these W's before with a little bit of petering out and then an attempted breakout, and maybe what we get next week is kind of a you know, we throw back here and we go out and clear that low. So we'll be paying attention. There's a couple of minutes left in the market. Nothing that I would play. Like I said, we start out here on trading the session during intraday hours. So, and I don't like to take a position until the heavy hitters come in here in the royal blue, even though the 8 a.m. session has started here in the purple. They got a head start today, and we broke outside of this channel, and they ripped it really hard. And so the response was just to wait and see what the heavy hitters do. It was hard to tell, I think, at first. I mean, we had a nice bearish divergence, but it was hard to tell if they were going to continue it down. And I didn't want to be a part of that if it wasn't. So these guys ripped it back up to the 5 DMA. We might get a flip here. So we'll pay attention to it and see what's going on when we start out the intraday on Monday. So we'll do another video and we'll take another look. But as it looks now, we cleared out this this pivot right here, and we'll be looking for targets. We'll be looking at the anchored volume weighted average price. We'll be paying attention to what the heavy hitters are going to do on Monday, but Friday hands sometimes leads to a little bit of Monday activity. So we might have a small channel, a small downtrend channel to work with, and we can start to peel off our uptrend channel, because at least on the 10-minute, because we're not on there any longer. So we will find something to work with, get the chart cleaned up, and we'll reuse these, and we'll see what's going on next week. It's been a good week of trading. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Discord group is our discussion group. It's free to join. There's no subscription. There's no paid stuff. This is just this is my own journal, blog style, active trader, freebie videos, and we're also looking to start. I'm looking to start something called Becoming a Trader, and all that information and videos and content will be available on my Discord channel, and you're more than welcome to join. Join the discussion and come be a trader with the rest of us. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one.